The rain pounded against the window of Karina's apartment like a relentless accusation, each drop echoing the chaos in her mind. It had been exactly 3 months since Jamie walked out, slamming the door with a finality that shattered Karina's world into irreparable pieces. In that moment, as the silence swallowed her, Karina realized with a gut-wrenching clarity that she wasn't just heartbroken. She was in love with a woman, and that truth had been buried under layers of denial for years. Karina stared at the empty side of the bed where Jamie used to sleep, her fingers tracing the faded outline of a body that no longer warmed the sheets. Growing up in a conservative suburb of Chicago, Karina had always played the part expected of her. The dutiful daughter, the straight-A student, the girl who dated boys because that's what girls did. Her parents, devout Catholics with unyielding views on family and tradition, had drilled into her the importance of a normal life, marriage to a good man, kids, a house with a white picket fence. But Jamie had changed everything. They met at a coffee shop in Manhattan 2 years ago, during Karina's first week at her marketing job after college. Jamie was the barista with a smile that lit up the room, her laughter cutting through the morning rush like a melody. What started as casual chats over lattes turned into late-night walks in Central Park, sharing secrets under the stars. Karina told herself it was just friendship, but the way her heart raced when Jamie's hand brushed hers told a different story. When Jamie confessed her feelings one rainy evening, Karina panicked but couldn't walk away. Their relationship blossomed in secrecy, hidden from Karina's family and most friends, a fragile bubble in a world that wouldn't understand. But bubbles burst. Jamie grew tired of the shadows, of Karina's constant fear of being discovered. "I can't keep pretending we're just roommates," Jamie had said during their final argument. "You need to choose, me or this life of lies." Karina froze, the weight of her parents' expectations crushing her. She let Jamie go, convincing herself it was for the best. Now, alone in the apartment they once shared, Karina grappled with the void. She spent nights scrolling through old photos, her chest aching with regret. The realization hit her like a freight train. She was lesbian. Not bi, not confused, just in love with women, and Jamie had been the catalyst. The next morning, Karina called her best friend, Sarah, the only person who knew about Jamie. "I think I'm gay," Karina blurted out over brunch at a diner in Williamsburg. Sarah's eyes widened, but she nodded supportively. "I've suspected for a while, Karina. What are you going to do about it?" Karina didn't know. Coming out meant risking everything. Her family's love, her job stability, the life she'd built on a foundation of pretense. But staying silent felt like suffocation. Weeks turned into a blur of therapy sessions and online forums, where Karina read stories of others like her, navigating the minefield of self-acceptance. She started small, attending a support group in the village, where women shared tales of rejection and resilience. One woman, Mia, spoke of losing her family but gaining her truth. "The pain is real," Mia said, "but so is the freedom." Karina envied her courage. Back home the pressure mounted. Her mother called weekly, probing about her dating life. "When are you bringing home a nice boy, Karenandra?" The word stung like salt in a wound. Karina dodged, but the lies piled up. Then came the invitation, her cousin Emily's wedding in upstate New York. "You have to come," her mother insisted. "And bring a date if you can." Karina agreed, dreading the facade. As the wedding approached, Karina decided to go alone, using the time to reflect. She packed her bags, her mind swirling with what-ifs. What if she had fought for Jamie? What if she came out now? The drive north was a solitary journey through autumn leaves, each mile bringing her closer to a confrontation she wasn't ready for. Arriving at the quaint venue, a historic barn overlooking rolling hills, Karina plastered on a smile. Relatives hugged her, asking the inevitable questions. "Still single?" her aunt teased. Karina nodded, her stomach twisting. The rehearsal dinner was a whirlwind of toasts and laughter, but Karina felt like an outsider, her secret screaming inside her. That night, in her hotel room, Karina scrolled through social media, her thumb hovering over Jamie's profile. They hadn't spoken since the breakup, but Karina couldn't resist. Jamie's post showed a new life. Travels, friends, a spark in her eyes that Karina missed. Tears blurred the screen as Karina whispered to herself, "I should have chosen you." The wedding day dawned bright, the air crisp with promise. Karina dressed in a simple navy gown, her reflection in the mirror a mask of composure. As guests gathered, she took her seat, scanning the crowd. Then her heart stopped. There across the aisle was Jamie, elegant in an emerald dress, her arm linked with Emily's brother Mark. Jamie was the plus one? The world tilted. Their eyes met, and in that instant shock turned to a storm of emotions. What was she doing here? And why did it hurt so much to see her with someone else? Karina's pulse raced as the ceremony began, but her mind was elsewhere. Flashbacks assaulted her. Their first kiss in the rain, whispered promises in the dark, the betrayal of her silence. Jamie glanced her way, her expression unreadable. After the vows, during the reception, Karina cornered her cousin. Why is Jamie here? Emily grinned. Mark met her through mutual friends. Isn't she great? Karina forced a smile, but inside, jealousy and regret boiled. As the night wore on, Karina avoided Jamie, dancing with relatives to distract herself. But fate intervened. On the dance floor, their paths crossed. Karina, Jamie said softly, her voice cutting through the music. We need to talk. They stepped outside, the cool air a stark contrast to the heat inside. What are you doing here? Karina demanded, her voice trembling. Jamie sighed. Mark invited me. I didn't know you'd be here. Lies, Karina thought, but the pain was real. Are you with him now? Jamie shook her head. It's complicated. After us, I tried to move on. The conversation escalated, old wounds reopening. You left me, Karina accused. Because you wouldn't fight for us, Jamie retorted. Tears fell as they argued, the weight of unspoken truths hanging heavy. Karina confessed her realization, her voice breaking. I'm gay, Jamie. I know that now. Jamie's eyes softened, but the damage was done. It's too late, she whispered. They parted with unresolved tension, Karina returning to the party a shell of herself. That night, back in her room, she cried for what could have been. The wedding had forced a mirror to her soul, but the reflection was fractured. The drive back to Brooklyn was a haze of conflicting thoughts, the highway blurring through Karina's tear-streaked vision. Jamie's words echoed. It's too late. Was it? Karina gripped the steering wheel, her knuckles white. She had spent years suppressing her identity, but seeing Jamie at the wedding ignited a fire she couldn't extinguish. Back in the city, Karina threw herself into work, but distractions failed. Her boss noticed her distraction during meetings, pulling her aside. Everything okay, Karina? She nodded, but the lie tasted bitter. At home she paced, replaying the confrontation. Jamie with Mark, it felt like betrayal even though they were over. Jealousy gnawed at her, mixed with self-loathing for not being honest sooner. Desperate for clarity, Karina reached out to the support group. Mia became a confidant, meeting for coffee. Coming out is a war, Mia said. You lose battles, but winning the war means living authentically. Karina shared about Jamie, the wedding shock. Sounds like unfinished business, Mia observed. But you can't force someone back. Inspired, Karina decided to tell her family. Starting small, she confided in her sister Lisa, over a video call. Lisa, living in California, was more open-minded. I love you no matter what, Lisa said, hugging the screen virtually. Buoyed, Karina planned to visit her parents in Chicago for Thanksgiving. It was time. The flight was turbulent, mirroring her nerves. At the airport, her parents greeted her warmly, oblivious. Dinner that first night was normal, talk of neighbors' church events. But Karina's anxiety built. On the second day, during a family walk, she blurted it out. Mom, Dad, I'm gay. Silence fell like a hammer. Her father's face hardened, his eyes narrowing. What do you mean? Her mother gasped, clutching her cross necklace. This is a phase, Karenandra. You've been influenced by that city. The argument erupted. Her father quoted Bible verses, calling it a sin. We raised you better. Her mother cried, blaming herself. Where did we go wrong? Karina defended herself, explaining her feelings, the realization after Jamie. But they wouldn't listen. You need help, her father insisted. Therapy, prayer. The evening ended in tears, Karina retreating to her old room, feeling like a child again. The next morning, tension simmered. Her parents suggested she see their pastor. Karina refused, packing her bags early. "If you can't accept me, I can't stay." Her mother begged her to reconsider, but her father remained stoic. "Choose your path wisely." The goodbye was cold, a chasm opening between them. Back in New York, the rejection hit hard. Karina spiraled, questioning her decision. Was coming out worth losing her family? She called Jamie impulsively, leaving a voicemail. "I told them. It went badly. I miss you." No response. Work suffered. Karina made errors in campaigns, her focus shattered. Her boss issued a warning. "Get it together or we have a problem." Desperate, Karina sought therapy, delving into her internal conflicts. The sessions uncovered deep-seated fears: abandonment, failure, unworthiness. Meanwhile, social prejudices reared up. At a work event, a colleague made a homophobic joke. Karina called him out, earning stares. Whispers followed. "She's one of them." Isolation grew, but so did her resolve. Months passed, winter blanketing the city. Karina dated casually, testing her new identity at lesbian bars in the village. But each encounter felt hollow, shadows of Jamie lingering. Then a text from Lisa. "Mom's been calling me upset. Give them time." Hope flickered, but reality intruded. Karina learned Jamie was seriously dating Mark. A mutual friend spilled during drinks. "They're talking marriage." The news crushed her. Betrayal stung. Jamie moving on while Karina fought alone. Fueled by anger, Karina confronted Jamie at her workplace, the same coffee shop. "How could you?" Karina demanded. Jamie pulled her aside. "You don't get to judge. You pushed me away." The argument drew stares, escalating to shouts. "I was scared," Karina yelled. "And now you're paying the price," Jamie shot back. They parted enemies, the wound deeper. Karina threw herself into activism, joining protests for LGBTQ rights. Marching in pride parades, she found community, but the personal cost mounted. Her parents cut contact, her savings dwindled from therapy bills. One night alone, Karina broke down. The decisions, hiding, coming out, confronting, each extracted a toll. She wondered if happiness was possible in a world stacked against her. Spring brought tentative renewal to New York, but Karina's life remained stormy. The fallout from her family persisted. Holiday cards went unanswered, her mother's voice a ghost on old voicemails. At work, the atmosphere shifted after her outburst. Promotions passed her by, subtle discrimination eroding her confidence. Seeking solace, Karina deepened ties with the support group. Mia introduced her to Elena, a confident lawyer with a similar backstory. They bonded over shared pains, dates turning into a budding romance. Elena was out and proud, her family accepting. "It gets better," she assured Karina during a picnic in Prospect Park. But Karina's heart guarded, Jamie's shadow looming. News came via social media. Jamie and Mark engaged. The announcement photo, Jamie beaming, ring glistening, felt like a dagger. Karina scrolled obsessively, torturing herself. Why him? Was it revenge? Moral dilemmas plagued her. Should she warn Jamie, or let her make her own mistakes? Temptation won. Karina messaged Jamie. "Congrats. But are you sure?" Jamie replied curtly. "Mind your business." Hurt, Karina blocked her, vowing to move on. Family pressure resurfaced. Her father emailed, inviting her to a family intervention with the pastor. "We want to help you find your way back." Rage boiled. Karina declined harshly. "This is who I am." The rejection fueled her activism, volunteering at a shelter for LGBTQ youth. Hearing teen stories of abuse mirrored her struggles, awakening a purpose. But sacrifices mounted. Elena grew frustrated with Karina's emotional unavailability. "You're still hung up on her," Elena accused during dinner. Karina denied, but the truth surfaced in dreams of Jamie. Their relationship strained, arguments frequent. "I need someone whole," Elena said, ending it. Alone again, Karina questioned her choices. Coming out brought freedom but isolation. Hiding might have preserved family, but at what cost to her soul? Society's prejudices amplified the pain. Stares on the subway, slurs from strangers. A turning point came at a rally against anti-LGBTQ legislation. Karina spoke publicly for the first time, sharing her story. Applause followed, strangers hugging her. Empowerment surged, but vulnerability exposed her to threats. Anonymous hate mail arrived, chilling her. Amid chaos, a call from Lisa. Dad had a heart scare. He's in the hospital. Panic gripped Karina. Despite anger, she flew to Chicago. At the bedside, her father looked frail. Karanandra, he whispered. Her mother hovered, eyes pleading. The visit was tense. I'm sorry, her father said weakly. I don't understand, but I don't want to lose you. Tears flowed as they talked, halting, honest. Her mother admitted fears. We thought we'd lose you to sin. Karina explained her love, the pain of denial. Not full acceptance but a crack in the wall. Returning home, hope mingled with caution. Jamie's wedding approached, invitations sent. Karina debated attending, closure or torture. She went, steeling herself. At the venue, an elegant hall in the suburbs, Karina spotted Jamie in white, radiant. Their eyes met during the ceremony, a silent storm. After, at the reception, Jamie approached. You came. Karina nodded. To say goodbye. They talked in a quiet corner, unraveling threads. I thought marrying Mark would fix me, Jamie confessed. But seeing you, I realized I was running too. Shock. Jamie questioning her choices. Are you gay? Karina asked. Jamie teared up. Bi maybe. But I loved you. The revelation shattered illusions. Jamie had her own denials, pressures from a liberal but expectant family. I betrayed us both, Jamie admitted. Karina forgave, but the moment passed. Jamie returned to her husband, Karina to her life. The encounter awakened Karina further. Decisions had costs, but truth liberated. Summer heat enveloped New York, mirroring the intensity of Karina's evolving world. The tentative reconciliation with her parents progressed slowly, phone calls, awkward but earnest. Her father asked questions, trying to understand. Tell me about Jamie, he said once. Karina shared cautiously, bridges mending. But societal battles raged. A wave of anti-LGBTQ bills swept states, protests filling streets. Karina organized events, her voice amplifying. Media interviewed her, exposing her to backlash. Online trolls harassed, doxing threats forcing her to move apartments. The cost? Safety peace. Personally, Karina healed. She dated again, meeting Taylor at a book club. A teacher with gentle strength. Their connection grew organically, no secrets. I'm proud of you, Taylor said after hearing Karina's story. For the first time, Karina felt seen without judgment. Jamie's marriage faltered, rumors reaching Karina via friends. Mark's controlling nature surfaced, Jamie unhappy. Moral quandary intervene? Karina resisted, focusing on herself. But fate twisted when Jamie called, sobbing. I made a mistake. They met in Central Park, the same spot of old memories. Jamie confessed. The wedding was an escape from my confusion. Mark was safe, straight. Tears fell as she admitted lingering feelings for Karina. But I'm married now. Karina's heart ached, temptation strong. You chose him, she said firmly. Fix your life. The confrontation was raw. Betrayals revisited. Jamie accused Karina of abandonment. Karina countered with Jamie's haste. We both hurt each other, Jamie conceded. They parted with hugs, a bittersweet closure. The encounter stirred Karina's inner turmoil. Was rekindling possible? No, Jamie needed to face her truths alone. Karina chose self-preservation, the price of growth. Family dynamics shifted. Her parents visited New York, a milestone. Dinner was strained but hopeful. We're trying, her mother said. Karina appreciated, but scars remained. Social prejudices challenged. A relative's wedding excluded her lifestyle. Hurt, Karina skipped, prioritizing dignity. At work, redemption came. A diversity campaign she led won awards. Her boss apologizing for past oversights. Promotion followed, validation hard-won. But awakenings brought pain. Taylor proposed moving in, but Karina hesitated, fears resurfacing. I'm damaged, she admitted. Taylor reassured. We're all a little broken. They committed, a step toward healing. As fall approached, Jamie filed for divorce, news spreading. She reached out again, seeking friendship. Karina agreed warily, boundaries set. Their talks revealed mutual growth. Jamie exploring her bisexuality, facing family backlash. The story's web tightened. At a family gathering in Chicago, Karina brought Taylor. Her parents tense but welcomed. Whispers from aunts judged, but her father defended. She's my daughter. A small victory amid ongoing struggles. Conflicts peaked when Jamie's ex, Mark, confronted Karina at a bar. You ruined her, he accused. The scene escalated, security intervening. Karina stood firm but fear lingered. Through it all, Karina reflected on choices. Hiding versus authenticity, love versus safety. Each decision exacted a toll. Lost relationships, emotional scars, but forged strength. Winter returned, blanketing New York in snow. A metaphor for Karina's clarified yet fragile peace. Her relationship with Taylor deepened. Shared dreams of a future. Marry me, Taylor asked one evening by the fireplace. Karina said yes, tears of joy mixing with apprehension. Planning the wedding forced confrontations with past and present. Family involvement was mixed. Her parents agreed to attend, a gesture of progress. We love you, her mother said, though discomfort showed. Relatives boycotted, citing morals. The hurt stung, but Karina focused on supporters. Jamie attended as a friend, her divorce finalized. I'm happy for you, she said sincerely. No lingering romance, just mutual respect. Their journey, love, loss, rediscovery closed a chapter. Societal pressures persisted. Venue bookings faced discrimination. Media coverage of their story drew hate. But allies rallied, turning adversity to advocacy. Karina spoke at conferences, her experiences fueling change. Internal conflicts resolved slowly. Therapy helped process betrayals, sacrifices. You've paid dearly, her therapist noted. But look at your growth. Karina agreed, the woman in the mirror stronger, authentic. The wedding day arrived. An intimate ceremony in a Brooklyn garden. Vows exchanged, rings slipped on. Her father's tearful hug. Proud of you. The family healed imperfectly. Post-honeymoon, life normalized. Karina and Taylor adopted a dog, built a home. Jamie dated women openly, their friendship enduring. Yet questions lingered. Had Karina's initial denial caused unnecessary pain? Was Jamie's marriage a necessary detour? Society's role in their suffering undeniable. In quiet moments, Karina pondered the moral ambiguities. Right to hide for safety? Wrong to pressure loved ones? The story's end wasn't tidy but real. Was Karina's path of painful truth worth the cost? Or could compromise have spared the heartbreak?